Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create a data factory by using Azure portal. So first thing, make sure to log into Azure portal. I assume that you have at least free trial. Now once we get into Azure portal, next thing we will be doing is opening our Azure portal in Edge, or let's say Google Chrome, right? So next step would be to choose either services, or you can choose create a resource, or you can use search bar. Okay, here you have to find the database, and within database you have option for data factory. So you click on data factories, and within that you will find that currently it is empty. So we can click on create a data factory, or we can click on create button. Now this interface should work natively within Edge or Chrome. So once we create that, you will notice why so, right? So first thing we are going to do is we are going to use subscription, which is free, then existing resource group, then we use my data factory as name, right? So it's currently in use, so let's use something like my dev factory. So it's available. Region we will pick the default chosen by the system. Then we have version, so by default it goes for v2. In near future it could be v3 or v4, so you adjust your instruction accordingly. Next you choose get option, can configure that later. Now comes networking. Here you can choose manage virtual network option, right? Also you can connect via public endpoint or private endpoint. Next comes advanced option. So here you have like data factory encryption option, right? So you can enable or disable customer managed keys by clicking on this checkbox, right? So currently we are choosing not to. We will move to tags. Now here we'll have to choose review and create. Let the validation pass. Okay, it will show you in green if the validation is passed, right? So what we can do is let this finish, right? So it is taking a bit of time for validation. Now here you see validation is passed, and now we can click on create. So this will start the data factory deployment. Once deployed, we can go to resource, and from there it will tell us to launch data factories studio option. So let's wait for that part. Now here you see go to resource option, and it has its own dashboard. Currently you can see it has launch studio option. Make sure to only open this in Chrome or Edge because other browsers are not supported at the moment. You will see monitoring option for pipeline, activity, trigger, and runtime CPU along with runtime memory, right? Now the thing is, you can see that I can click on launch studio. It should open another tab. Right now here you see it will ask you at the top that you should configure a git repository. So whenever you are doing any pipelines or so, you would be setting up a GitHub repository or any form of git repository. You can also use Azure DevOps as well, right? So that is also one more option for you. Now here you see plenty of options for your data factory. First being ingest for adding the data into the data factory, then creating the pipeline, transforming the data, and here you see SQL Server integration service packages you can configure here. On the left hand side, you will see that there is this sidebar that shows author, monitor, manage, and learning center. Alright, so if we click on author, we will find that option to add variety of resources. For example, there is this pipeline option, right? You can create a new pipeline or choose pipeline from template or even create new folder. Next is your change data capture option. Currently it is in preview, but in near future it will be permanent and it will even change its name. Then comes dataset. Here you can choose new dataset, new folder, so you can pick variety of online dataset or you can upload your own. There is data flow, which you will notice that through folder, flowlet, and data flow. Next thing is power query, where you can see new power query and new folder option. So it would be possible for you to check all these as the resources. Right now, here is also plus button for adding the new resource. So variety of options that you see can be accessed through this plus button as well. For creating pipeline, choosing pipeline template, and importing, right, along with all the options like dataset, data flow, power query, and copy data tool. Right, so this is something you can work on from your own data factory instance in data factory studio. Right, so to access this, we just have to go to all services, then go to data factories, then you have your own instance, right, and simply click launch studio, which should open this studio. Right now, there are a variety of things you can do when you choose to add pipeline, right, be it from your GitHub, Bitbucket, or even DevOps, right? So for that you can learn a lot of through this learning center. You can click on quick start, learn few things, try them here, then come back again, and so on. There are video tutorials or variety of options that you have. Most of these things will be relevant based on the version that you are currently using in Azure. So usually things change after 6 months or 1 or 2 years, so you have to watch out. Also, there will be chance of things like AI coming into a lot of these Azure tools, so things will be different. So you don't have to manually do a lot of stuffs. Simply point and click, tell that AI or prompt to do the rest of the work. Right now, let's take a look at top options. Here we have updates option, all that is happening within data factory listed here. Then comes data factory subscription. Currently I'm on free, but in near future I may have to subscribe and create the account for that, and I have to click by creating new and then clicking OK. Right, so currently it is allowing me to go through all those options, but in near future I may have to upgrade eventually. Right, then I can change the language, regional format, right, so I can choose English specific to my nation so that the dates part will be properly applied. Right, the moment I apply those changes, things will change as well. For example, the date format and also the regions time format for AM and PM, that is also possible. Right, so here you see all the options that we have, right, and you can work with that. Right, so here you can see there is one more thing that I missed, which is manage, where I can link the services. Click on the services that you wish to link, like Google Sheets and other data sources. You can also link compute instances If there is any instance available, it will show up here, or you can search. Right. Next thing, we will take a look at things like integration runtime. Currently you can see there is some running here, and it will show you status as well. Then there is purview. So as you use some of the options, then all these connection, source control, author will start to make sense to you, right? So for that to work, start from creating your pipeline, then run some of the pipelines, then manage them, and you will be able to understand what these things are, right? So hopefully you get the idea how to create your data factory in Microsoft Azure.